roller derby, Amy Spears. 1101 Avatar, 12 Kitty Lickerbottom, number 19 Texas Chainsaw Sass Kicker, 1993 Bratislava Bruiser, 216 Kilbasa, 23 one of the co-captains Phoenix Buns, 365 the Smacktivist, 451 Bernadette, also a co-captain, 5150 Pippi Rip Your Stockings, 5459 Hellion Boy, 59 Lorraine Acid, and number 815 Big Rig. And on the bench, we've got Great Scott and Katie BAFF.
And if you are joining us watching, of course, take part in the Txtcast Slam Wow. Remember, the Death Track Dolls and CN Power Superfan will be on the Txtcast for you. And this game is underway. Starting off with Phoenix Buns for the Ohio Roller Girls. She ran into Hannah Murphy, though, and gets pushed to the inside on turn number 1, forced to recycle.
Avatar for the Ohio Roller Girls being sent off for an illegal block on Soul Wrecker. Soul Wrecker was cycled to the back, but is now running up. Right now, we've got one of the marquee matchups of this game for me. You had semi-precious Hannah Murphy going toe-to-toe with Phoenix Buns. Phoenix Buns winning the first encounter. She's your lead jammer, nerd.
That's right. You needed a little help there, though, to get past Hannah Murphy, number 10. Phoenix Buns was phenomenal earlier today against CN Power despite fouling out. It was her 27-point jam in the first half that really put up the distance. She is burning around turns number 1 and 2. 2 to beat. She is pushing them out of play. And Hannah Murphy, again, last line of defense. 4 more points for Phoenix Buns.
That's right. Phoenix Buns calling for 4. Her jammer ref, Hot Carl, gives all 4 points. First jam victory to Ohio Roller Girl All-Stars, 4-0. Lining up on the track, we've got number 9 Pixie Cuts for the Rideau Valley Vixens and number 365 the Smacktivist.
2012 North Central Jammer MVP, the Smacktivist. And Pixie Cuts had a really strong game earlier as well for the Rideau Valley Vixens against Queen City. This is going to be a big year, I have a feeling, for Pixie Cuts. Smacktivist now working away at the outside past Sisters Aster, the big block up front, last to beat. Nice job one-on-one from the Rideau Valley Vixens blocker, but she cannot hold her. Smacktivist, lead jammer.
Still stuck in the pack is Pixie Cuts. She's up against Pippi Rip Your Stockings and Bratislava Bruiser.
And already Smacktivist coming around in a scoring pass, tries to take the outside, stays in. She's going to look for a few more points before she calls it off. Late call, and I think we're going to see a steal of 1 from Pixie Cuts. And it is 2-1 jam. Pixie Cuts sneaking in there on the inside and picking up 1.
So Vixens getting on the board. Score early on in this game, 6-1. Rideau Valley showing that they're not going to back down from this much higher ranked team than them. They were pretty excited about the opportunity to actually play against Ohio, and looks like they're going to take full advantage of it. I'm seeing number 12 Kitty Lickerbottom out there for the Ohio Roller Girl All-Stars, and that's DDT for the Vixens. DDT trying to move through on the outside. Kitty's already up at the front, going toe-to-toe with Hannah Murphy.
And the Vixens getting spread early, getting forced into these one-on-one battles. They're doing well for the most part, but Phoenix Buns comes up there to peel Hannah Murphy off the jammer, lead jammer for Kitty Lickerbottom.
Phoenix Buns and Lorraine Acid doing a number on DDT at the front, but she manages to get free. Meanwhile, Kitty Lickerbottoms is 20 feet behind the pack, getting ready to put some points on the board for the Ohio Roller Girls.
Didn't see much of DDT earlier today in the first game against Queen City, maybe resting her up. They don't have a necessarily deep bench with all their injuries right now, the Vixens, or a deep jammer rotation, so I think they really trying to manage their bodies well for this weekend.
Certainly, and only 2 points for Ohio, so nice pack work on the part of the Vixens, limiting the points that the jammers from Ohio have been able to get. Ohio's had lead jammer each time, but they've only managed to pick up 8 points, so good work on their part. And we've got number 22,
the
Carnage.
Rookie. First-year Vixen, first-year Rideau Valley Roller Girls.
That's a Smacktivist again for Ohio.
And Smacktivist, nice job by Margaret Choke into big block, and Sisters Aster threesome at the back of the pack, holding Smacktivist back. Unfortunately, I think that's Avatar working a number on Carnage, and Smacktivist through as your lead jammer.
Phoenix Buns pushing on Carnage to the outside. We've got a track cut. That's going to be the first power jam of the game. Advantage, Ohio Roller Girls.
Huge disparity in experience there between the rookie jammer for the Vixens and, of course, Phoenix Buns, one of the great skaters probably in the WFTDA right now. And first power jam goes to Ohio, nursing an 8-1 lead here, but they are getting worked right now. Brilliant bridging right now by the Vixens to hold Smacktivist back and really killing a lot of time on this penalty kill.
Yeah, it was some nice work by Sister Disaster in the big block up at the front, really slowing the Smacktivists down, giving their team an opportunity to reduce number of points, but absolutely opening that wall. That was Phoenix Buns just creating a massive hole for the Smacktivists to pop through for 5.
Wow, it's going to be exciting getting to watch Phoenix Buns and Hannah Murphy go at it today. Two phenomenal skaters. Avatar, though, also having a strong game and a strong tournament thus far for the Ohio Roller Girls. Margaret Choke heading to the penalty box for the Vixens.
Yeah, that was a track cut on Margaret Choke.
Smacktivist already coming around on a big 15-point jam so far. Sister Disaster heading to the penalty box.
And that's one of the problems that you can end up having on a power jam. Not only do you give up a whole bunch of points, but you end up sending a lot of your blockers to the box. Smacktivist around, skips through on the inside.
Oh,
Did
Avatar.
not land it.
Avatar with a big hit on Carnage as she comes out of the block. Now Amy Spears taking a turn. 20 points. It looks like it's going to be 24 points on that power jam.
And Ohio Roller Girls move up to 32. Vixens sitting at 24 minutes to go in the first half. Big power jam on the part of Ohio, and that is something that the Vixens cannot afford to give up. I would say that was probably the downfall of CN Power's game as well.
Yes.
Even strength, I think CN Power was going toe-to-toe with Ohio, but too many power jams. We've got Hellion Boy going for Ohio Roller Girls, and she's up against Soul Wrecker for the Vixens. Ohio Boy, Hellion Boy quickly on the outside getting lead jammer. Soul Wrecker is about 40 feet behind her.
Yeah, Hellion Boy, her first jam of this game, also played against CN Power, and Ohio really seems to be going with the very broad jammer rotation as well this weekend. These guys are master endurance skaters, the Ohio Roller Girls. They travel a ton, play a ton. There's a lot of double duty going on between the A team and the B team. So these skaters can skate a heck of a lot.
Yeah, one of the things I mentioned in the first game that Ohio played against CN Power, that it was probably a wise choice for Toronto to play them first. Normally, you might want to get a team after they're a bit tired. Ohio only seems to get stronger as they play more games. They often play doubleheaders in a day, and this is nothing new for them.
Yeah, they actually started off their season by playing Bleeding Heartland and Burning River in a doubleheader in one day and won both of those games quite handily a couple weeks ago. Pixie Cut's out there, number 9 in yellow for the Rideau Valley Vixens. And she comes through on the inside to take lead jammer.
That's the first lead for the Vixens in this game. Kitty Lickerbottom is hot on her tail. We're going to have a jammer race to the back. We'll see if there's an opportunity for the Vixens to pick up any points, or if she's going to have to call it off to prevent Kitty from getting. They managed to trap.
One.
Yeah.
Yes, 1 point. So the bleeding is stemmed a bit. The Vixens finally getting on the board. 36-2 now.
Yeah, the Vixens managed to trap Kilbasa at the back, and they picked her off. So picking up, doubling their score. They're up to 2 now, 36-2, 22 minutes to go. Most of those points that Ohio picked up were on the power jam, so it's actually a fairly close game with both jammers on the track.
24 points on the power jam, so yeah. Only 8 non-power jam points for Ohio. Phoenix Buns, though, out there, and look at her work that 3-wall. No problems cutting from the inside outside. Beats Rudolph on turn number 2 for lead jammer status. And DDT, though, burning around on turn 2, getting by Lorraine Acid. But Phoenix Buns already through the pack and scoring. Quick 4 points for Ohio.
Yeah, nice skip through on the inside. Tiny little apex move by Phoenix Buns to pick up those 4. But once again, the Vixens able to get their jammers out, limit the scoring that Ohio was able to do on each jam. So they're staying in the game, all things considered. Take away the 24-point power jam, and it would be 16-2. However, you don't take away power jams in roller derby, and it is 40-2. And we've got Carnage back on the track.
Against Texas Chainsaw Sass Kicker for Ohio. Her first action with the Star this weekend, if I'm correct. I didn't get to see all the second half of that CM Power game, but I've not seen her jam yet for Ohio. Number 19 in the black. Coming off of a 1-year injury, totally destroyed her knee.
Pretty much every ligament that you could tear, she tore. So it's nice to see her back on the track. She skated in that doubleheader, and look at that. We've got Carnage picking up 5 points. That's a natural grand slam. And on top of that, Chainsaw is in the box. So let's see what the Vixens can do. They've got a power jam. This evens things up for the bout so far.
And it's a 3-3 pack, too, on this power jam. Oh, and Carnage doing a nice job to get through. Lori Nass at the last line of defense. 5 more points for the rookie. Out of my way man trapped. Speaking of returning from long layoffs. Out of my way man returning. Missed most of the end of 2012. Also skates for both the A and B sides out of Ohio. And Carnage fighting through that pack now. And doing a nice job. But finally, Out of My Way Man takes her out on turn 4.
Cycled all the way back. Carnage having to take another run at it. Wayman calling for, 1993. That's Bratislava Bruiser crushing Carnage. Carnage holding her face, but no high block called. She gets through for 5 points. 20 seconds left in the jam. Chainsaw's out of the box, so the power jam is over, but Chainsaw's still on her initial pass.
And she's running into Hannah Murphy and Kuhl. I don't know if I can say that.
I'm just saying cool.
Cool. Skater formerly known as Mudblood. Makes it all the harder the fact that it says Mudblood on the back of her shirt.
That's right. They haven't quite got the new jerseys yet, but when they do, apparently their travel uniforms will have their real names. Another point picked up by Carnage. That brings the Vixens up to 18, so 40 to 18 after each team has had 1 power jam in a game. You gotta call it even now. Smacktivist going on the line for Ohio. Soul Wrecker for Rideau Valley.
And Blackout Susan pivoting the pack in yellow for the Vixens against Phoenix Buns, number 23, the captain of Ohio Roller Girls in black. You're watching Canuck Derby TV's presentation of the Quad City Chaos 2013.
Soul Wrecker finding a seam on the outside, getting through her wall. She's only got Phoenix Buns to beat, but that is a one-woman wrecking crew.
Oh, and Soul Wrecker coming in. Phoenix Buns doing a phenomenal job of weaving her way through that pack and forcing that cut.
Smacktivist still stuck in the pack. Hannah Murphy lining her up on the outside of turn 1 and 2. They keep her contained, but a no pack is called out of play. Nobody getting chopped, but lead jammer is signaled. Smacktivist heading around to get points on this power jam for Ohio.
4-wall now from the Vixens at the front. Smacktivist goes right into it. Peeling off to Bridge. Spread out one-on-one battle now with Hannah Murphy. Eventually has to let her go out of play. 5 big points for the Smacktivist.
Yeah, the Vixens really stretching out their bridge there as far as they possibly could. Still unable to contain the Smacktivist. Smacktivist is back in the pack, trying to break through that wall of yellow. She's getting some assist from some of her own blockers. Ohio in the black and green. Popper free, another 5 points for the Smacktivist. She calls it off, and Ohio is leading 50 to 18.
So we should take this opportunity to thank some of our sponsors, including, of course, Holy Crap. They are a big supporter of Canuck Derby TV, one of the big sponsors of roller derby in Canada. Also, of course, you too can do your part to help keep Canadian boutcasts streaming and free by donating to Canuck Derby TV. The good Dr. Johnny Capote doing an amazing job linking this whole country through Boutcast.
The magic of roller derby over the magic of the internet. They managed to ice Soul Wrecker on that last jam, so Phoenix Buns able to blast through unopposed. Soul Wrecker has been released from the penalty box, but Phoenix Buns is already around and ready to score points. Soul Wrecker being pushed to the outside by Bernadette. Still being cycled back into the pack. Phoenix Buns trying to fight her way out to front. She's through, 5 points.
Yeah, Pippi Rip Your Stockings doing a nice job on the defense too. It's great to see her back. She suffered a pretty devastating injury at the North Central Regionals last year. A veteran member of this team.
And we have yet another track cut on Soul Wrecker. She's gone back into the box, so this is back-to-back power jams for Ohio Roller Girls. Not what the Vixens wanted if they wanted to keep this game close.
Phoenix Buns calling for a penalty there on Kuhl. She fell as she was out of play. Oh, big hit on Phoenix Buns. She's taken down. And Margaret Choke's going to go out for that one.
5 more points for Phoenix Buns as she goes around. She may be a little reluctant to approach this pack. There's been some heavy hits being laid out, legal and otherwise. There's the big block throwing a hit, but nope. Phoenix Buns stays on in, and that is another grand slam.
3-3 packs is very patient offense right now from Ohio, letting Phoenix Buns do the job. And she is fighting her way through that 3-wall of Cool, the big block, and Sister Disaster.
Yeah, Phoenix Buns very strong in her skates, very difficult to move out of bounds. Big block by the big block, stopping her in her tracks.
And just nice move to force that wall inside, then pop out, come around on the straightaway. I think Phoenix Buns would probably look good on the roster of any WFTDA team. And just showing why. Nice hit right there from Cool. Shoulder to shoulder, clean, takes her down. And forcing Pippi up to play some offense. But Sister Disaster heading to the box, the Vixens pivot. Timeout being called by Hannah Murphy.
Probably a good idea on the Vixens' part. They really need to reset things. We're halfway through the first half, 14 and a half minutes left. They are down 80-18. Giving up those power jams repeatedly is not helping their cause. They really need to settle down, get things back to the way that they want to play it, and basically have a reset. Yeah, you're starting, you basically have spotted them 62 points and a quarter of the game, but there's lots of time left.
There is.
Re-strategize.
Now, there is a huge disparity in the rankings between these two teams. Ohio enters this tournament ranked 21st in all of the WFTDA. The Rideau Valley Vixens 71st, so fairly significant difference in their rankings. But this Vixens team, you have a feel like this is a team on the rise. That ranking will only be temporary, and well, they're upset already over 68th ranked Queen City this morning shows that.
Indeed, indeed. They have an interesting schedule ahead of them, and I believe they are hoping to be able to sneak into that number 60 spot to perhaps qualify for Division II. I'm sure they'd be happy with higher than that if they could, but I think their goal at the moment is to try to get into that 60th spot.
That is funny how it's actually more competitive to get into the Division II playoffs. If you're in Division I, you're in the playoffs.
That's right.
If you're in Division II, you've got to fight for one of those top 20 spots for a playoff spot. So yeah, going to be an interesting battle. All right, we are back underway here now. And Kitty Lickerbottom through as lead jammer, getting by Annihilators. Brennan,
that's
skater
correct.
formerly known as Annihilator. So still power jam, though, and Hannah Murphy doing a nice job to knock Kitty Lickerbottom to the inside. Annihilator coming in as well, dragging her back little by little, but killing precious time on this penalty kill. Margaret Choke now with with a little bit of a hit, but direction of gameplay major sends Margaret Choke right back to the box.
Yeah, she's going to have to be careful with that, or she's not going to be too long in this game. She's picking up penalties rather quickly. Hot Carl indicating 5 points for Kitty Lickerbottom, and she is back for more.
Oh, a nice move there by Pippi. Rip your stockings. And that's the thing about Ohio. They just play very simple roller derby. They don't try to do too much. That's fancy. They're phenomenal skaters. And we can see there just simple little pack control on this power jam. Nice bridging. Pulling Soul Wrecker back as far as they can as she comes back in from her penalty. And Soul Wrecker assessing the situation before she moves in. Makes a nice little juke to the outside on turn 2 to get through. Finally through in her first pass.
Kitty Lickerbottom back in the pack looking to pick up points. She's got to be careful because Soul Wrecker is coming on hard. Soul Wrecker held off the board. 2 more points for Kitty. That brings the Ohio Roller Girls up to 96-18 for the Vixens. Just under 13 minutes ago in the first half.
Now, there's no reason you need to see it, but you just saw our little booth there. It's Captain Lou and Derby Nerd in the booth with Slam Wow on the Txtcast. That's Slam Wow behind all that silver paint. Pixie Cuts on the line, number 9 in yellow for the Rideau Valley Vixens.
And scooting through on the outside, that's Hellion Boy. She's making her moves quickly. And a big hit by the big block, forcing her out of bounds. Hellion Boy sprawling into the crowd.
Hellion Boy getting tangled up there with the referee on the outside. But she is back up and now one-on-one against Hannah Murphy. Brennan coming in for a little bit of reinforcement, but a nice job by Hellion Boy just to push those blockers out of play. And Hannah Murphy's going to be sent to the box.
Yeah, unable to stop Hellion Boy from escaping from the pack. Hellion Boy with lead jammer and still stuck in the pack is Pixie Cuts. We've got whistles galore, people being sent off, including a track cut for Pixie Cut. So once again, the Vixens running into penalty trouble. We're on another power jam.
And, you know, it's one thing to say that the Vixens need to stop getting the penalties, but this Ohio team, so smart, so fit, so good, and knows the rules so well that they're forcing these momentum cuts. Nice little hip checks as those skaters go to line, just kind of forcing them to come back in before they want to.
And Hellion Boy feeling a bit tired, deciding to do a star pass. Nice and successful off to Bratislava Bruiser, and she's off to the races with about 45 seconds left in this jam, which is a power jam. That is a really smart move because they have a full minute of a power jam that they can take advantage of. Bratislava Bruiser with fresher legs after Hellion Boy taking the pounding for the first minute. So Bratislava is going through second pass of hers. 10 points.
And there it is, another one of those smart draws of a penalty. The big block just getting frustrated in the back. Amy Spears a nice little step back, forcing a cut, and now there's one blocker on the track for the Vixens.
Yeah, that's Brennan left on the track. She's the sole blocker. Bratislava Bruiser through for another pass.
Hannah Murphy coming in out of the penalty box now, back on the track. There's 2 Vixens out there against 4 in the pack. Margaret Choke coming in as well, throws a little bit of a hip check in, slows down the jammer, but that's it.
Yeah, nice, really nice hustle on the part of Bruiser at the end there, picking up points. We've got an illegal procedure on Pixie Cuts at the end of that jam.
I didn't quite see what happened there. I don't know if she came in behind or in front of the pack. I'm not sure, but a procedure call coming into the penalty box puts her back in for another minute. Devastating now with a score 123-18 with 10 minutes remaining in this first half.
Yeah, playing full strength against a team as good as Ohio Roller Girls is tough enough. To give up 5 power jams in the first half doesn't make the job any easier. We've got the big rig out there. Number 815 jamming for the first time today.
And she's another one of those skaters that does double duty with Ohio's A and B teams. And this is, the first time she's jammed today. I'm sure she'll get in on some action with the B team tomorrow against the Bay Street Bruisers.
Number 40, Rudolph for the Vixens, heading to the box to serve a minute as a blocker. 5 more points for the big rig going up.
Sister Disaster, Blackout Susan, the only 2 blockers left out there in yellow for the Vixens against a full pack for Ohio. And they've been playing a remarkably clean game, have the Ohio Roller Girls. Nice job by Sister Disaster, but can only hold her for so long. And now Blackout Susan stuck in the back. Out of my way man's going to stay back there. The big block comes on the track. 3 out there now for the Vixens.
Yeah, the big block requesting calm from her blockers. Get things reorganized.
And Pixie Cuts comes tearing out of the box. Rips around turn number 1 and 2 and outskates Phoenix Buns on the second straightaway. She's through on her first pass.
Probably a lot of energy after sitting for as long as she did.
2-minute rest.
Big rig knocked to the outside as she calls it off. 4 more points up on the board for the Ohio Roller Girl All-Stars. And with 8.5 minutes to go, they have taken a commanding lead, 137-18 over the Rideau Valley Roller Girl Vixens.
Yeah, just controlling this game and especially controlling those power jams. Controlling the starts, too, though, on the jam line. And that jam line is brought to you by Wicked Skatewear. Big thanks to Wicked Skatewear for sponsoring our jam line this weekend. Oh, and Hannah Murphy with a big hit on the Smacktivist. Nice, clean shoulder to chest hit. Smacktivist, though, does finally get around Hannah Murphy on turn number 2. Lead jammer, Smacktivist.
Yeah, Hannah Murphy is one of those seek and destroy blockers. She had Smacktivist off balance and finished her with a second hit, but the Smacktivist right back up, picking up lead jammer. She is back in the pack and is ready to pick up points. I'm seeing 5 fingers in the air. That's 5 more points for the Ohio Roller Girls.
Great offensive insights for blocking from these Ohio blockers as well. Very good at transitioning within a pack from offense to defense. Phoenix Buns really good at clearing the front of that pack. Great battles going on now up front between Hannah Murphy and Phoenix Buns.
And for all the hitting that Carnage is taking in that pack from Avatar and Phoenix Buns, she still has a pretty good smile on her face as she's cruising through.
Yeah, Carnage apparently has a history in figure skating, which you don't think would lend itself to roller derby, but she seems pretty tough out there. She doesn't mind the rough stuff at all.
Figure skaters are supposed to smile all the time, so maybe she's got it from there. Smacktivist through the pack one more time for another 5 points.
The big block with a nice big hit on Phoenix Buns. Smacktivist coming through, makes a nice little juke around Frostbite Me, Rudolph and Big Block. And now Avatar pulling Carnage all the way back to the start line. And that's going to be another Grand Slam if she can get through for the Smacktivist. And there we can see that back wall just holding Carnage back.
The Avatar playing with the Ohio Roller Girls for her 3rd year, originally skated with Silicon Valley and has really picked up her game this year. She played a lot with Gangrene and some with the All-Stars, but she's had 2 stellar games so far, really working well with Captain Phoenix Buns, and they're right back on the line. That is a tough blocking pair. Now it looks like Lorraine Acid is going to replace Avatar this time around, but Buns never tires. She's back out there.
Back up there. It's almost like they've got a couple of her on the bench. They just keep pulling them out, these Phoenix Buns clones. That being said, I believe number 10, Hannah Murphy's also out there for the Vixens.
And jamming for the first time today, first time this weekend, I believe. That's number 451, Bernadette.
Actually, I believe Hannah Murphy's in the penalty box, so I apologize.
That DDT is jamming for the Vixens. Bernadette is lead jammer. She's a transfer from Emerald City. She's co-captaining this Ohio team. And getting lead jammer is going to help them.
But DDT picking up a lot of track. She's now about 10 feet behind her. DDT's just been flying, and she's going to steal a couple. How many is the question? At least 2, and there's 1 in the box. 3 points for DDT. Nice job.
So nice pickup
by the scrappy skater, DDT, veteran of this Vixens team.
And we have dropped under the 5-minute mark remaining in the first half. Ohio leading this game 168-21, commanding 147 points. And they have sent Big Rig back out there. And she'll be going up against Pixie Cuts.
It looks like we've got 3 in the pack. No, sorry, 4 in the pack for Ohio, 4 and 4 for the Vixens. This is a 5-on-5 jam. A rarity so far in this bout. Another lead jammer for Big Rig and for the Ohio Roller Girls. Little inside track for Canadian Derby fans. I was told that this is Hot Carl's last game as a referee. Told me this.
So he's done. I understood this was his last game as a certified referee.
Oh, certified referee, yes. Sorry.
He's apparently letting his certification lapse, but he may still wear the stripes from time to time. That's the Big Rig calling off the jam. 3 more points go up on the board, bringing Ohio to 171 as the time ticks under the 4-minute mark in the first half of this game.
Also like to thank, of course, our TORD TV crew for putting together this boutcast. As usual, huge thank you to Tropic Thunder, who is on directing for this game, and of course, Mr. Force, a.k.a. Layer 9, but also G-Force, retired skater from TORD, always a big part of putting these boutcasts together, and our whole crew, who we will get to before this game is over.
Jam is underway. Soul Record jamming for the Vixen. She's got a seam on the outside and gets knocked out of bounds.
Oh. Nice work, too, at the back of the pack from Margaret Choke and Blackout Susan to also drab Hellion Boy back. Just seems to be who can recycle who further back.
Smacktivist doing blocking duty this time, getting a piece of Soul Record, dragging her back once again. Hellion Boy knocked out of bounds by Blackout Susan once again. Soul Wrecker finally getting through. That is good for the Vixens. They need a little something to lift their spirits as we head towards the halftime break.
Great pack of the pack defense from both of these teams. It is a strength of both of these teams, I think. And just winning that battle for once is the Vixens, and they do need a couple of these, I think, moral victories as we head into the half. They don't want to be down by too much.
Oh, bad news for Soul Wrecker. She's picked up another track cut. And that means with more than a minute left on this clock, we're going to go a full 2 minutes, and it's going to remain on the Power Jam.
That was announcer's law. And we said it. said they needed a strong finish to the half, and knowing how smart Ohio is, they're going to run this jam down, probably take as much of it as they can, up 150 points. 2 minutes remaining. Final game of the day tomorrow. Ohio Roller Girls All-Stars will be facing off against Queen City, so they're not done for the weekend yet. 5 points, though, picked up.
Yeah, once again, Ohio has never played against Queen City. It's one of the benefits they've had coming up and playing in this first ever fully WFTDA sanctioned tournament outside of the United States. I believe that's true.
Oh,
and certainly in Canada.
Anarchy in the UK.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
That was, I believe that was fully sanctioned.
That's true. But in Canada, definitely the first.
And I know they tried to do one in Europe this year, but there were a couple of apprentice leagues there, and that, so it wasn't fully certified.
So we ended up with another star pass on that. Number 1993, Bratislava Bruiser, again doing her duties as pivot and jammer for a second time. Ohio moving up to 188. Rideau Valley at 22. We're getting under the 1 minute mark, which means this is likely going to be the last jam of the first half of this game.
And the whistle blown. A lone jammer on the track is Kitty Lickerbottom for the Ohio Roller Girls All-Stars, and she's running into some nice defense from, looks like Frostbite, Me, and Sister Disaster.
Strong bridging by the Vixens. Cool managing to drag Kitty back, and Soul Wrecker has gotten lead jammer.
And she calls it off immediately. And with under 30 seconds left, I do not think we're going to get another jam in this half. Time is ticking away. The score 185 to 22.
Yeah, unless someone is going to ask for an official review or call a timeout, this will have been the last jam of the half. We'll see as time ticks down. 3, 2, 1, and that is the half.
And there is the whistle to make it official. So definitely moments for the Vixens in that half. They started off very strong, and I think we've seen this against other inexperienced teams against Ohio too. You can only hold on for so long until either Ohio figures you out or you make the first mistake.
Yeah, they're a really smart team. They know how to pick a team apart, and they will study what you're doing and counter it. That's what Ohio is good at. That and the fact that they never, ever get tired on the track. So this is a team that goes and goes, and the Vixens giving up those power jams, really hurting them in the first half. We are going to head out to halftime. We got about 20 minutes till we do the last 30 minutes of this game. There's one more game tonight. I'm Captain Lou Albamo. I've been joined with
the Derby Nerd,
and we will see you shortly.